Good morning. Despite my best efforts to stay up till 2:45 a.m. my time, I'm afraid I succumbed to slumber last night. Didn't really miss anything though. I suppose if you're looking at Aston Villa's record against the top two, three previous matches conceding 2 goals, that 2-1 lead at half time, possibly gettable. And indeed that proved the case with an Alexander-Arnold equaliser. So that could have been an angle in second half. Luton and Plymouth relegation 6-pointer. Could have arguably laid the draw second half because of the need for points. With the odds-on favourites scoring first, arguably you'd have got a better move in the draw odds. 1-1 it ended. Not done these two any favours at all. They are still bottom two. Any winner yesterday would have broken into the 30-point barrier, and life would have been a little better for them with that in mind. So they're as is, basically. But they're keeping tabs on Hull and Derby, who I suppose along with Cardiff are going to be the main players in this relegation dogfight. But 3 points was really needed. Had Luton held on, they'd have been up to 30 points. Champions League. Well, when you don't need to win, you've got a 3-0 lead. Doesn't matter, does it? So they did have a couple of goals disallowed and the penalty missed, I believe. Dortmund second half. But it's difficult to take on a 0-0 second half, isn't it? Particularly when the home side don't need to win. You'll have to rely on the away side to score. Well, Brest are sick of the sight of PSG. They're not conceding 3 goals or 5 goals. It's 7 goals. And that was banging with the 1.13 quote there. PSV, excellent performance from them, mirroring Juventus's first leg score of 2-1 to ensure this went through to the second leg. Again, it's very difficult to get a trading angle in for these particular matches. 0-0 at half-time, I suppose. You could have had a look in there, laying that second half, such is the need, particularly from the home side. So that's a possibility. And Real Madrid and Manchester City, Kylian Mbappe's night last night, was expecting a couple of second half goals, or 2 or 3 where Man City's concerned, but it was all done in the first half. Kylian Mbappe repaying his fee at last. On to tonight, and hopefully I'll be up and about for you. I do try my best to stay up 5:45, but things have been a bit difficult for me lately, along with that hacking. It's just been a bit mentally tough to get through. But I will try my best for you this evening. 5:45 kickoff in the Europa League. Of course, it's the first legs where we'll get our main angles in. So you've got a 1-1 from the first leg, Roma and Porto. The market's looking at the home side, and really, on paper, Italian Serie A should be a lot stronger than what is quite a weak Portuguese Primeira Liga if you take away Benfica, Sporting Lisbon and Braga out of the equation. It's a bit like the SPL. Not much I can recount here. It's all to play for. No away goal rule, so the winner wins. The market's expecting Roma to do something here. Head-to-heads, well, little we can gain from it because it's all about the context of that first leg score, isn't it? Bodo Glimt and FC Twente. Bodo Glimt, the Norwegian elite Serien side, 1-2 down from the first leg to Twente. Their season hasn't started yet, Bodo Glimt, so in that regard, they're a little missing some solid competitive football. Let's have a look at that first leg result, see whether there's an angle in there. How did it eventuate? Did Bodo Glimt score first? Did Twente come back? No, Twente scored first, and it was a late 95th minute penalty. So it was a tight match, notably at 20. And they only got through care of a very, very late penalty. So this, you suspect, is going to be a lot more competitive this evening. Bodo Glimt will fancy their chances, but they must score the first goal to get it back on parity. Steaua Bucharest, 2.63 the favourite against PAOK Thessaloniki. 2-1 lead for Steaua Bucharest in the first leg. Can they hold on? They came from behind, you'll note, to get that result. It's a very, very tough match to predict. 2.6 the favourite. Galatasaray and AZ Alkmaar got a win at the weekend, Gala. And it's a 1-4 lead for AZ Alkmaar. Notably, AZ Alkmaar can afford to lose 2-0 and still progress. 3-0, they'll be in trouble. Now, with such need as this, and with a decent forward line for Galatasaray, they are, well, you won't see the forward line just yet, but a nice win at the weekend. 4-1 loss. Was it red card affected? Let's have a look. Emphatic win. You saw yesterday with, yes, it was red card affected. So this is going to be a different fixture altogether, isn't it? 2 goals post red card pretty much did for Gala. So I think Galatasaray could look at the win today. I'm not sure if they'll manage the 3 goals that they need, but they've got that important single goal. 3 goals is not without the realms of possibility. They did get 3 against Adana Demirspor, scored 4 against Boluspor, but this is all Turkish sides. 3 goals against Dinamo Kiev, but conceding 3 as well. AZ Alkmaar in a good bit of form recently, but that could offer some promise to Galatasaray. Ferencvaros under Robbie Keane, scoring 4 against AZ. That's what Galatasaray need this evening. 1.62 doesn't quite reflect 4 goals, but I think Galatasaray could get the win today, perhaps just not crossing the line enough. Possibility of a goal first half here, given the need for Gala to get on that score sheet quickly. Ajax and Union Saint-Gilloise. Union Saint-Gilloise, another one of those sides not delivering at the weekend domestically, but we did take insurance out on that 0-1 defeat. Ajax, 2-0 lead from the first leg. I wouldn't say firmly, but they are there. They have the reputation in Europe, indeed Champions League semi-finalists recently. And it's both second half goals, and pity that Union Saint-Gilloise had a goal disallowed in the first half. I'm not sure Union Saint-Gilloise quite have it in them to cross that line, particularly away at Ajax, given the fact that Ajax scored 2 at their gaff. Anderlecht and Fenerbahce, the special one, out and about in Europe, already a 3-0 lead. You saw with Dortmund yesterday, comfortable 3-0 lead. 0-0 is a possibility here, of course, today. You don't expect the special one to cock this one up. Poulsen and Ferencvaros, Robbie Keane's boys against Poulsen. 0-1 from the first leg for Robbie Keane. I don't know how good his Ferencvaros side are defensively. He's the famous striker. Poulsen just need a goal to get back on parity, and they're the Czech side are fancied today at 1.62. Real Sociedad and Midtjylland, I'd be favouring Real Sociedad here. Midtjylland off-season in the Danish Super League, which is it's not off-season, it's just come back off an extended winter break. But Real Sociedad 2-1 up from the first leg. It looked comfortable for the Spaniards. And that was away at Midtjylland. You'd expect home advantage to really kick in today. Yeah, quite comfortable. 0-2 lead after half an hour. The first goal was a penalty, so a tad lucky. But it's very, very difficult for me to give you any pre-match trading angles for these, as you'll understand. Going to the Conference League now. And we've got the similar story. It's all about the first legs. 3-0 for Real Betis against Ghent. It's job done, isn't it? 3-0 Dortmund. Could end 0-0, but the onus is on Ghent to get a result. Heidenheim and Copenhagen. 2.45 the favourite. It's 2-1 to Heidenheim from the first leg. Bundesliga side, you'd have expected them to get the better of a Danish Super League side, wouldn't you? And that's what they did. But was there any extenuating circumstances? Not really. They did come from behind. Heidenheim, 85th minute winner, so not as impressive as a 1-2 scoreline suggests. They got there late. Ljubljana and Borek Banja Luka, 1.62 the favourite. 0-1 Borek Banja Luka from the first leg, and look at the market. Expecting Ljubljana to deliver. Paphos and Ammonia. Second leg, playing home matches at a different stadium. Okay. First leg result was 1-1, so this is all to play for. Paphos and Ammonia, 1.72 the favourite. Apoel and Sedgler. We've got lots of odds-on favourites at home today. 2-2 from the first leg. Let's see how that match progressed. So how did they get on? 1-0 to 1-1. 2-1 to 2-2, and then a red card. So a bit of an unknown factor the last 17 minutes. Could Apoel have pushed on? Coming from behind on 2 occasions. Cookies missing a penalty, but looks like he converted afterwards. So an interesting match set up for the possibility of both teams scoring again today. Jagiellonia from Poland playing TSC, 1.38 favourite, 3-1 from the first leg. Don't need to win, so just be a little wary with that. They don't need to win. Just need to avoid a 2-0 defeat. That's all they need to do. And TSC did score first, so we could do with a bit of that. And it was very comfortable, really. I suppose the superior fitness turning up in the last 10 minutes to get the Poles over the line. 1.38 suggests a comfortable evening for them. But TSC, if they do score first, that'll make it 3-2, and it'll be a completely different match altogether. Panathanaikos against Vikings Reykjavik. Well, this was a shock result from the first leg. I think it was a 2-0 or 2-1 for Vikings Reykjavik. We did get a goal back for Panathanaikos, but they are very, very short-priced favourites to deliver. Is there any reason why they went down in the first leg? Because it was certainly not expected. 1.48 favourite, and it took an Ioannidis penalty just to get them on the score sheet. That could be the difference, couldn't it, today? 1.17 brings with it the expectation for 3+ goals this evening from Pana, but they didn't deliver at 1.48 at Vikings. Has the market got them wrong? So there's a lot of these sides odds on at home, drawing or leading, who need to get something. Don't need to get something in Betis's case. Shamrock Rovers against Molde. Famous win for Shamrock Rovers in the first leg, a 1-0 red card affected match. This is going to be a difficult encounter for Shamrock Rovers today. Very lucky to get the win with that red card for Molde. They took advantage of Lund's red card. Noonan, who went to school the next day in Ireland, the youngster, he'll be absolutely delighted. 16 years old, Michael Noonan. Fantastic stuff from him. This is going to be a very difficult match for Shamrock Rovers this evening, keeping the Norwegian side out. We can have a look at the in-play stats from the first leg, but as you know, that red card came in the first half, so I don't think they're going to offer us much, are they? Just to see if they were dominant or not. I don't think we've got the stats from the first leg, which is a pity. Well, we might have. Let's have a look at the match. So we've got the stats up here. Probably not going to tell us much though, because it's such an early red card. 4 goal attempts to 5. So it was a level playing field with that 10 against 11, you could argue. And really, just that single goal for Shamrock, they didn't really take huge advantage of the extra man. But you're going to note a completely different match today. Molde from the Norwegian Elite Serie. Unknown factor, really, how the Irish are going to get on with them. The new season hasn't begun yet for Shamrock. They did play in the Irish Premier League at the weekend and, well, obviously lost 1-0 with this distraction in mind. I'm going to make an effort to turn up 5:45 this evening. Again, my apologies if I don't, as you'll understand. It's a 3 a.m. kickoff for the 8 o'clocks. I do try my best. Last night I woke up at 10:30 UK time, so that's something like 5 a.m. in Thai. So I'm a bit all over the shop with the timings, but it's a nice coupon this evening. We've got the first leg scorelines to work off, so that could give us an important angle to this evening. There's plenty for these home sides to play for at short odds. You'd be expecting goals before half-time with the likes of Panathanaikos, particularly Galatasary. So look at that as a potential angle in. But of course, we've got no first half stats to work off. It's just a logical play, isn't it? You need 2 or 3 goals out of this. Lots of these on parity, 1 goal in it. So it's a fascinating coupon this evening, but it's very, very tough to play these without the in-play stats. They'll be crucial this evening. So I hope to see you, members of footballtradingprofits.com, on Telegram a little bit later. Friday, let's just have a look at what's coming up. We've got the return of league football, thankfully. These European fixtures can be tough nuts to crack. So we've got a relegation 6-pointer for Leicester against Brentford. Evens only for Brentford. I don't think Leicester really can land a blow, but we will see. Championship, Bristol City against Middlesbrough. And Burnley, perennial 0-0s at half-time. Burnley against Sheffield Wednesday, the Owls. Rennes against Reims, odds on. French Ligue 2 is warming up nicely, coming to the end of the season. Paris FC let their crown slip a little at the top. Red Star, Martigues, relegation threatened sides. Freiburg and Werder Bremen, tough match to predict that one as well. Hamburg against Kaiserslautern, so all in the standings for Hamburger. They'll be sick of the sight of the Bundesliga too. They need to go up, back where they belong in the Bundesliga. Tens of thousands of supporters. A win takes them top tomorrow, so watch out for that match. Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division returns to its usual Friday slot, but it's a watching brief at the moment. Kerry got their win last week, but they normally don't win, so they could be brought back down to earth. Dundalk, strong favourites. Wexford, strong favourites, but we don't have any form to work off yet. That's why some of these the market's finding difficult to read. Lecce against Udinese, good result for Udinese, I think, at the weekend. And Lecce, again, it's all in the standings. Where are these two relative to each other? Lecce and Udinese. Lecce 15th place, 5 points above the relegation zone, so the job's not done yet, but another 3 points will help that massively, take them to 28. Udinese, well, they'll stay as is with a win, and they're getting a little bit deserted from the top 6 European places. There's a bit of a gap there, 9-point gap. It's going to be tough for them to overcome that, but they're safe from relegation at the moment. Not so Lecce. They're a little bit too near with what is a congested relegation zone, particularly from Parma all the way up to Como in 13th. I think Venezia and Monza are getting a little bit disconnected from safety. So plenty to play for on Friday. Tonight, I hope to see members on Telegram at 5:45 p.m. I'll get the old coffee on intravenous. It's a very interesting coupon this evening. It's all down to the in-play stats and the first leg scores, how we're going to play these. So I hope to see you from 5:45.